mass shooting suspect. During the search, several pieces of evidence were found inside the van linking the suspect to both locations.
The police have not determined a motive. Additional documents marked classified were recently seized at President Biden's Delaware home. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House with an update.
Here's how the president's personal lawyer described them. Quote, 6 items consisting of documents with classification markings and surrounding materials, some of which were from the president's service in the Senate and some of which from his tenure as vice president. The president himself said he thought the search was over. Joe Biden first arrived in Washington as a U.S. Senator 50 years ago this month when Richard Nixon was president. So if this goes back to his time as a senator, that's going back a long way.
The White House has said that there are no classified documents at President Biden's other Delaware house. The White House is also dealing with the upcoming departure of President Biden's top aide, White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain. President Biden is reportedly planning to name Jeff Zients, his administration's COVID-19 response coordinator, as Klain's replacement. America is listening to Fox News.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author David Dowdy from right here in the Chicago area, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth. Because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Navy Dowdy & Associates now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-392-9595. 1-800-392-9595. Again, 1-800-392-9595.
Small businesses need an advantage to gain success these days. For many small businesses in Chicagoland, that's Salem Surround. AM 560 The Answer's in-house digital agency that works with hundreds of small businesses just like yours. Here's how Salem Surround is helping one local business thrive.
This is Vince DePaul, owner of Your House Real Estate Academy in Bloomingdale. We've been working with Salem Surround for 3 years now. Their full-service marketing team created a digital plan designed to generate new students. They've helped to demystify pay-per-click marketing and create brand awareness with display media that reaches our primary market. If you're interested in becoming a real estate broker, start your career at yourhouseacademy.com today.
Salem Surround connects your business with potential customers at every stage of their path to purchasing your product. Want to grow your business? Visit surroundchicago.com. That's surroundchicago.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest-rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
AM 560, The Answer. This live program is sponsored by Safer USA OT Media Group. It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight we'll be taking a look at the recently published article, The Coup We Never Knew by Victor Davis Hanson. The article dives deep into the recent events in the United States and brings to light a reality many of us may have overlooked. So join us as we explore the article and the implications it holds for our nation. To participate in tonight's show, call our studio at 312-642-5600 or watch live, like, and interact at YouTube on Target Radio. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at OTR Chicago.
Did someone or something seize control of the United States? What happened to the U.S. border? Where'd it go? Who erased it? And why and how did 5 million people enter our country illegally? Did Congress secretly repeal our immigration laws? Did Joe Biden issue an executive order allowing foreign nationals to walk across the border and reside in the United States as they pleased? Since when did money not have to be paid back? Who insisted that more dollars the federal government printed, the more prosperity would follow? When did America embrace zero interest? Why do we believe $30 trillion in debt is no big deal? When did clean-burning, cheap, and abundant natural gas become the equivalent of dirty coal? How did prized natural gas that had granted America's wishes of energy self-sufficiency, reduced pollution, and inexpensive electricity become almost overnight a pariah fuel whose extraction was a war against nature? Which lawmakers, which laws, which votes of the people declared natural gas development and pipelines near criminal? Was it not against federal law to swarm the homes of Supreme Court justices, to picket and to intimidate their households in an effort to bring an effect on their ruling? How then with impunity did bullies surround the homes of Justices Brett Kavanaugh, Samuel Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, and John Roberts and Clarence Thomas, furious over a court decision on abortion? How could these mobs so easily throng our justices' homes with placards declaring off with their expletive deleted? Since when did Americans create a government ministry of truth? And on whose orders did the FBI contract private news organizations to censor stories it did not like and writers whom it feared? How did we wake up one morning to new customs of impeaching a president over a phone call, of the Speaker of the House tearing up the State of the Union address on national television, of barring congressmen and congressional members from serving on their assigned congressional committees? When did we assume that the FBI had the right to subvert the campaign of a candidate it disliked? Was it legal suddenly for our one presidential candidate to hire a foreign ex-spy to subvert the campaign of her rival? Was some state or federal law passed that allowed biological males to compete in female sports? Did Congress enact such a law? Did the Supreme Court guarantee that biological male students could shower in gym locker rooms with biological women? Were women even asked to redefine the very sports they'd championed? When did the government pass a law depriving Americans of their freedom during a pandemic? In America, can health officials simply cancel rental contracts or declare loan payments in suspension? How could it become illegal for a mom-and-pop store to sell flowers or shoes during a quarantine, but not so for Walmart or Target? Since when did the people decide that 70% of voters would not cast their ballots on Election Day? Was this revolutionary change the subject of a national debate, a heated congressional session, or the votes of dozens of state legislatures? What happened to election night returns? Did the fact that Americans created more electronic ballots and computerized tallies make it so much longer to tabulate the votes? When did the nation abruptly decide that theft is not a crime, assault not a felony? How can thieves walk out with bags of stolen goods without the wrath of angry shoppers, much less fear of the law? Was there ever a national debate about the terrified flight from Afghanistan? Who planned that and why? What happened to the once trusted FBI? Why almost overnight did its directors decide to mislead Congress, to deceive judges with concocted tales from fake dossiers and with doctored writs? Did Congress pass a law that our federal leaders in the FBI or CIA could lie with impunity under oath? Who defined and redefined our military, and with whose consent? Who proclaimed that our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff could call his Chinese communist counterpart and warn him that America's president was supposedly unstable? Was it always that true that retired generals routinely libeled their commander-in-chief as a near-Nazi, a Mussolini, an adherent to the tools of Auschwitz? Were Americans ever asked whether their universities could discriminate against their sons and daughters based on their race? And how did it become physically dangerous to speak the truth on a campus? Whose idea was it to reboot racial segregation and bias as theme houses, safe spaces, and diversity? How did that happen in America? How did a virus cancel the Constitution? Did the lockdowns rob us of our sanity? Or was it the woke hysteria that ignited our collective madness? We are beginning to wake up from a nightmare to a country we no longer recognize and from a coup that we never knew. I thought that was pretty pithy.
I thought it was good. I have my own question. We got these new cameras in here, and they're like kind of rotating around and doing things as we're talking. And I'm like, "What's it doing? What's it looking at?"
And who took over
at this
control
point
of the camera?
does it make?
And who took over the control of the cameras?
Oh, I know. We're not used to cameras like moving around during the show, so
It is.
we'll see what happens.
It's a hyper close up. Woo!
Yeah.
I can't see it. It's at my back, so I'm lucky.
You are lucky.
Yeah.
Count your blessings.
So I thought that was a very interesting piece. It kind of summed up everything in the Obama and the Biden generation of presidency.
Yeah, if you notice, there's really nothing bad from the Trump presidency in there that kind of happened in between those two. But it really does take all the events and kind of put them in one place. And I think earlier I said, it's a good list for YouTube and Facebook to watch for banning people that talk about these topics.
It seems like every day Joe Biden either makes a stupendously superlative gaffe, beating everything previously, or he issues some stupid executive order or something. And our governor, by the way, is like a study of Biden. I mean, he just changes the law at his own discretion.
Yeah, he doesn't make gaffes like Biden does.
Well, no, that's true.
He's actually pretty politically adept. I mean, I'm not saying that in a complimentary way. I'm just saying he knows how to.
Well,
I'm just
true.
saying he knows how to like work the cameras, work the media.
Yeah. Well, wide angle.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. The thing I don't like with him is he's got the state seal of Illinois on his mouth on the mask, and it's like so giant, and I'm like, that's like a disgrace to like the whole state. I mean, why would you put that on your mask? Ugh.
Yeah.
Every time I see that, I get the chills.
I really want that on his face.
So disgusting.
So one of the things that Victor Davis Hanson mentions at the top of this is $30 trillion in debt. And I actually think it's like 31.5 trillion, but who's counting?
Trillion here, trillion
It
there.
is interesting. That was one of the sticking points of the voting in Congress for Speaker of the House. That was one of the things that the more conservative holdouts wanted, was for that to finally be addressed. And I was really surprised that was one of their big sticking points, because that's something that really hasn't been discussed that much. I mean,
it's very down low.
And I know that this is like saying a dirty word, but Mark Kirk, the former senator of Illinois, was a big proponent of we need to get our national debt under control. And since Mark Kirk, I haven't really heard anybody talking about it.
Well, the problem is it has become acceptable.
Well, apparently.
I mean, there's no way if you're born today, that debt will not be paid off when you die in your 80s.
Oh no.
I mean, it's hopeless. There's no way you can pay it off. They print funny money. They print silly money. Mm-hmm. The size and the gravitas of the United States of America is the only thing that makes that dollar worth a penny anywhere else in the world.
Right.
Because it's cheap paper is all it is.
Oh, yeah.
Look, when Trump was in office, he had gone to, NATO and kind of said, why are we footing the bill for everything, right? Mm-hmm. And the Biden administration, especially with Ukraine, has just said, we'll just give you all the money you want. And then Ukraine has the balls to come in front of the Congress and the president of Ukraine and just kind of wearing a jogging suit, basically. And tell us basically, like, you're going to keep giving us money, and we want money, and we need money. And then the administration just, keeps giving them money. And now there's news stories about, Russia is going to, up the game and have a bigger offensive. And coincidentally, this is right when we're going to have discussions around the debt ceiling, which to me is probably trying to say, hey, we need to get more money over there. We need to get more money over there. Forget this debt ceiling thing. We need to keep giving them money. And every time we keep printing money, inflation keeps going up, and it keeps hurting American people. Mm-hmm. And the cycle just continues, and it's going to be worthless. Now they're actually talking about a recession, and it's going to happen. You got to be prepared for it.
They're giving money away. They're forgiving debt. They're doing everything to drain down and excluding everything that would put in. I mean, it's crazy. The pipeline alone was just a monumental, stupid thing to do.
That was horrible.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to keep talking about Victor David Hanson's letter, because I think it was very interesting. So we'll return with that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
5 more classified documents found in a room adjacent to the garage where the vintage Corvette is kept.
It's just getting a little ridiculous at this point.
The best thing that could happen to Trump is to be indicted. I mean, it's not enjoyable, but politically, I can't think of a better outcome from these competing investigations than Trump being indicted and Joe Biden not be.
Start your day with Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
You know when you start up a motorcycle and you hear it go vroom, vroom, vroom when it takes off? I was losing that. I was losing my energy like everybody does as they grow older. And I don't want to be tired. I don't want to look tired, and I don't want to be tired. I started using Balance of Nature about 1.5 years ago. Noticed the results immediately. And I went, oh my gosh, this works. This is what I've been missing all my life. I'm loving life actually more than I ever have. I missed my va-va voom. I got it back.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. See why Kathy Lee Gifford and thousands of others have had life-changing success with Balance of Nature. Take advantage of our New Year's offer while you still can. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. That's 1-800-246-8751 and get $25 off plus a free fiber and spice when you use discount code KLG.
Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet? Is continual numbness, tingling, and burning pain stopping you from being with your family? Are you unable to play golf or other activities you used to enjoy? Are you concerned about falling, or have you already? Have you tried typical treatments of drugs and therapy and not gotten any better or even worse? There's now a treatment that's already helped thousands improve their neuropathy so that they can get their lives back. Gold Coast Chiropractic now has a cutting-edge natural solution with a 95% success rate to improve your neuropathy right here in Chicago and can be done in the comfort of your own home. A solution that addresses the underlying cause of neuropathy without taking endless drugs with serious side effects. Call today for a complimentary nerve screening in the Gold Coast or Wheaton to see if this treatment can get you your life back. Call 773-524-4164. That's 773-524-4164.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And we're back. When we are talking about Victor Davis Hanson's letter that he wrote, The Coup We Never Knew, listed a whole lot of stuff on there. And one of the things we were just talking about on the break is the debt and how it doesn't seem to be an issue that people talk about anymore. We're, what is it, $30 trillion?
Yeah.
Give or take.
30 plus.
You know, trillion here, trillion there. Pretty soon it adds up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The frightening thing is, I think the reason that people aren't talking about it is because they've come to accept the fact that it's there. How can you ever pay that off?
And I think that's what they see is like, we're not going to pay it off anyway. Let's let it ramp up. But we don't understand, or most people don't understand that actually plays into the value of the dollar in the rest of the world.
Of course.
That gets too big, the dollar stops being the standard currency, especially for oil and things like that, and then we're really in a bad place. And I know that was going to happen. I don't know if it did happen. I don't believe so.
And the Canadians have always been very resentful. The Canadians refer to themselves as the 51st state without a vote, because everything we do, almost everything we do, has a direct effect on Canada, because we're joined at the hip. So when our dollar goes down the tank, so too does the loonie. The loonie is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canadian dollar.
One thing we do that I don't know if impacts them is, our southern border is open, which I think this article talks about, but I don't know if that's flowing up into Canada. I don't think that they would allow
the northern
that.
border is not open.
Right.
Although,
that's not what I've heard.
I think they have a problem with that.
So you can't pass through checkpoints like we do. They just let them go through down the south. But there's hundreds of miles of wilderness border. Hundreds.
Well, it's
thousands, really.
Right.
It's really the same. I mean, where they go through on the southern border is not checkpoints. They're just walking through where there's no wall and there's no checkpoint.
They go close to Brownsville. I think it's Brownsville. It's
Texas.
Well, they do that, but they also walk through where there are fences and checkpoints and border patrols waiting on the other side, and they're all climbing over in a chain or going underground or however they do it, and just like, oh, we're caught, okay, we're going to be released. And it's just, what did they say last month? I think there's 250,000 people that came in across the southern border last month.
And it's not just...
But we don't care?
I read an article that the northern border is even more porous because of all the wilderness
it is.
In the Canadian, the Canadian wilderness and northern U.S., they don't have any way to monitor that.
No, but people, the Canadians don't want to come to the U.S.
No, but that's not what the point of the article was. I mean, and I read this many, many years ago because I used to date a Canadian, but yeah, and terrorists, potentially terrorists who, people from other countries who want to get into the U.S., they'll get visas into Canada, and then they just walk across the border.
Well, see, it's the part about walking across the border, though. Having spent many, many, many times up there, you don't walk across the Canadian border, you paddle. Most of the border is water. And so you got to find people who like mosquitoes. So they have to come from a country where they've got lots of mosquitoes. You have to find people who are comfortable walking in wilderness areas. I mean, it is porous from the standpoint it's not patrolled. But if you go up there and look at it, it's not a walk in the park.
I think the point is that even getting into Canada to get the visa to get in, I think would be more difficult as what, compared to people getting into Mexico from other countries, because, other countries that, the people that are actually coming across the Mexican border are not all from Mexico. They're from a lot of other southern countries. And I think Mexico's just like, come across our... So if Mexico had stronger borders on everything except the United States, it would prevent that influx of
that's 100% true. But that's also what Trump did when he was the president. He twisted Mexico's arm and said, you need to keep these supposed asylum seekers, you need to keep them in Mexico. Tell them to seek asylum in Mexico first. And then if that doesn't work, maybe we'll take them.
I've always found it interesting that if you were to illegally cross the border into Mexico, that's prison.
Yeah.
They put people in prison for that. But if you cross that exact same border and that exact same footprint, the opposite direction, it's like, adios, have a good night.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's fine.
The thing about people going into Canada, though, is that Canada is a very liberal country. Right. And so I think, as far as people going from third world, what holes, I think they're pretty welcoming to people who have negative feelings about the United States. Canada doesn't care about that. They're not interested in protecting us.
Not particularly.
So, people who are potentially terrorists, and that's what this article was about, was that potential terrorists just go to Canada first and then come in that way.
I think potential terrorists have an easier time getting in from Mexico, though.
You're
I don't know if we could agree on that, but that's kind of my gut feeling.
There's all kinds of roads and support for them to do that. And the tunnels are already there.
Yeah.
They've dug all these tunnels.
I mean, the scary part is with all these people that have come in, we don't know a lot about them.
You don't know anything about Moscow.
I mean, this is going to boil over at some point.
And the worst part is, people talk about them, they come across the border. When they catch him, they don't send him back. They give him money. They put him in a hotel. They check him for COVID, and they give him an airline ticket, and they fly him somewhere. They fly him somewhere Republican.
There was a manager of a hotel in Texas, I think, that said his business is completely destroyed because I think
they took up
a certain number
hotel.
of his floors were these people, and he showed that, there's just, kids doing what kids do and destroying the place and garbage all over the place, and
That is how it works. You're listening to On Target Radio. This is AM 560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600, and weigh in. What do you think? What did you think about the coup we never knew? Or just in general, are you ticked off about something? You can call in and try and beat us up. We'll take that, won't we, Gretchen?
No.
Okay, don't call in with that. And
no, that would be good radio. Call in.
Yes.
I'm not on the campaign trail right now, so I'm a little.
So, who cares?
I got a little Jones
Exactly.
to verbally whip somebody.
I can tell you've been a little bit more, claws
right
out
away. I
lately.
say it, and somebody calls.
All right.
Somebody calls.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nick from the Northwest Side's on the line. Nick, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm looking to make some trouble again, get my mouth going, and get the rest of my body in trouble. I mean, I'm good at that. It's a natural ability.
You
Not
got
many
2
people can do
minutes.
this.
You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay. It won't even be that long. But I was going to say, people don't realize, I think, now that this coming to America, the way these people are coming from our southern border, across the Rio Grande and all that, and then what they're doing in many cases, they are educated to claim that you're seeking political asylum because you're living in an oppressive government. This all started during the Cold War when a lot of people came from the former Eastern Bloc controlled by the USSR, also called the Soviet Union, that we wanted people to be able to come over to give us some information about things also, and also to allow them to get out of there. Usually people that we knew should get out, but they couldn't say over there that I want to leave Hungary, or I want to leave Poland, because these communists from Moscow are making me nuts, But anyhow, and the people coming over now, they're educated about, say that you want political asylum, you're automatically then, that's what our government now under Biden says that they're legal, actually. Well, they're not really legal, but they are legalized with the words they use. They're given a EBT card. Here in Illinois, it's called a link card to buy food. They're given an envelope, some cash. I don't know how much cash they give them. Maybe somebody can find out. And they're given up to even an airline ticket somewhere. If they can show that they have some family or close friends somewhere in some city, that's where they want to go. And this situation is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if people realize in these countries where, like Mexico, is allowing these people to come through, they're not helping anybody. They're not helping the people from those countries coming through, because the irresponsible men are making one baby after another. They'll have 4 or 5 kids with absolutely no idea how to take care of these innocent children. And about another generation, maybe 20, 25 years from now, there'll be so many south of our border and in the Caribbean and south of Europe, also in Africa. There won't be enough people that you could feed. There won't be enough grain in Ukraine growing to ship it to them, to help them substantially. A lot of people are going to be dying, or they're going to be forcing their way in to other countries, such as into Europe and into America. This is something's got to be done to control this thing now, not 10, 20 years from now, because it's going to really blow up. Okay,
well,
that's all I got to say.
Appreciate the call, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
And that was quick.
I heard he had a fan in the background laughing, too, as he was talking about running his mouth. So
we're going to take a break.
Nice.
When we come back, we are going to continue talking about Victor Davis Hanson's letter. And call in if you got quirks, things that you don't like about our country or the way things are being run, or even the state of Illinois. That ought to get a handful. Yeah.
Let's talk about natural gas.
Okay. All that and more gas when you return with more On Target Radio, full of gas. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Fox News, I'm Richard Jordan. Officials in California found the person behind a mass shooting at a cultural celebration.
Police in Monterey Park confirm the suspected gunman died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He apparently took his life as SWAT officers surrounded his vehicle this afternoon, not far from last night's crime scene. The mass killing claimed 10 lives and left another 10 people wounded. It happened as the victims were celebrating the Lunar New Year.
Fox's John Scott, the motive behind the massacre is not known yet. More classified documents were found this weekend at President Biden's Delaware home, some dating back to his time as a U.S. Senator.
President himself said he thought the search was over. Joe Biden first arrived in Washington as a U.S. Senator 50 years ago this month.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
As time goes by, we can all use a little more help getting around. Staying mobile and independent can be tough for some, especially our aging loved ones. When you need assistance finding the right quality products to make life easier and more enjoyable, there's Mars Medical Supply. Home medical equipment and supplies to keep you or someone you care for independent and mobile. Whether it's living with certain medical conditions and disorders or recovering from injuries and surgeries that are difficult to cope with, shopping for specialty products can be frustrating. The Mars Medical Consultants will help you find the right solution and feature a full line of lift chairs, scooters, knee walkers, power wheelchairs, and rollator walkers. There's also financing available on purchases over $200 through Care Credit to help you get the products you need right away. For home medical equipment and supplies, rely on Mars Medical Supply, 333 West Maple Street in New Lenox. Browse products and featured items online at marsmedicalsupply.com. Mars Medical, keeping you independent and mobile for over 30 years, with customer care that's out of this world.
Old man winter is here, and you'll need a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. Look no further. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They're not one of those massive impersonal companies with inexperienced technicians and subcontractors. Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling sends only their own highly skilled technicians. From service to installation and everything in between, their work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Get 20% off your first service and ask about their service contracts. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
Small businesses need an advantage to gain success these days. For many small businesses in Chicagoland, that's Salem Surround. AM560 The Answer's in-house digital agency that works with hundreds of small businesses just like yours. Here's how Salem Surround is helping one local business thrive.
This is Vince DePaul, owner of Your House Real Estate Academy in Bloomingdale. We've been working with Salem Surround for 3 years now. Their full-service marketing team created a digital plan designed to generate new students. They've helped to demystify pay-per-click marketing and create brand awareness with display media that reaches our primary market. If you're interested in becoming a real estate broker, start your career at yourhouseacademy.com today.
Salem Surround connects your business with potential customers at every stage of their path to purchasing your product. Want to grow your business? Visit surroundchicago.com. That's surroundchicago.com.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Will somebody please tell me what is wrong with natural gas?
It's evil. It's hurting the air in your house, and I don't know. Those are the only things I heard. But
it's always been, until like a year or so ago, it's always been considered clean energy.
Clean energy.
And now all of a sudden it's the devil.
You know why? I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it is that the United States has an abundance of it that they can become and that they are self-sufficient on. What we don't have an abundance of is electricity through solar panels and wind turbines that China makes. That's what's wrong with gas.
Will those people quit freaking call? I bet you I get a call a day. You can get free solar panels. I don't want any solar panels. But first of all, if you cover your roof with solar panels and you got to reshingle the house, guess who pays to have it all taken off and then put back up?
They do try to make sure that you have newer shingles so that by the time your lease is up on the solar panels, which is typically 20 to 25 years, that your shingles are still okay. But yeah, I agree. I looked into it just to see, because I'm like, this has got to be like some kind of scam, and it basically is. And they tell you, I'm like, well, what if I move? Oh, well, no, that's no problem. It just transfers on to the next person. I'm like, so then I have to get someone else to agree. Oh, but they're going to want your house because it has, it's got the solar panels, and it's going to reduce your electric bill. And
the real catch in a lot of those is that they will provide the solar panels and the wiring down to the transfer switch. But then you actually have to provide and have installed all of the control features that control whether or not there's power coming out of the panels, going into the grid if you're not using it, and all that, which is probably double the price of the panels themselves.
There you go.
I get angry when they call, because anytime anybody pushes you hard for something that's for your own good, that's like the biggest red flag you can.
Oh, sure.
Somebody's making money on it.
Exactly. If it were for my own good, I'd be pushing you hard to give it to me.
Just pick a Bible verse and start reading it to them when they call you.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Well, it reminds me of the smart meters, right? Because that was always like, well, it's for your own good, and it's going to do so many great things. Like, what are these great things?
You're going to like
you need it, or we're going to charge you more.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that
right.
I pay the $25.
Let the arm twisting begin. But yeah, the other ways that they want to generate electricity or use electricity, like electric cars, it's false. I mean, it's just based on a false premise that this is more environmentally friendly, and it's not. When an electric car's battery is expended, there's no way to recycle it. It's full of heavy metals. It's probably going to take more money than the car was ever worth.
It costs thousands of dollars
to strip the heavy metals out of the battery.
Yeah,
they're just going to fill up landfills. It's going to become hazmat all across the country.
I'm trying to find out if this article I just found is in Illinois or not. But it's a town, Evanston. So if you're in Evanston, I don't know if it's Evanston, but it just came out.
It's the same thing with the windmills. These giant windmills. The blades are made out of a composite material that's not recyclable. So when they have reached their life expectancy, they're going to go into a landfill.
Well, it's not recyclable, but it does conveniently break down into tiny little filaments that then can go into groundwater.
Right, exactly, into like microplastics that we're now ingesting, and which is probably causing all these diseases.
The only person
I'm done.
The only person that likes those windmills is Don Quixote. That's it. He's the sole arbiter.
You had to make me stop talking for that. That was fantastic. No, I wasn't done. And then when they
You choked. I thought
when they
you
have
did.
to, I did. When they have to de-ice them, they have to spray them with petroleum products
From a helicopter.
Yeah,
That's
from
my
a-
favorite. My
Yeah.
favorite picture is a helicopter hovering, which runs on jet fuel,
Right.
spraying a petroleum-based antifreeze or whatever the heck
Yeah,
it is.
de-icer. It's ridiculous.
So we got a caller, but we have about a minute and a half left. We're going to get to the caller after we take our break. So hang in there, Randy. We will get to you when we return. Interesting comment.
Yeah, the point I wanted to make, though, is that some places have already banned natural gas hookups. I believe some in New York and California have already done that. And I don't know how California keeps going on banning these things that are, kind of forcing people over to electric because they don't do a good job managing their grid.
Their grid can't handle.
No,
all
it's
these
like,
things
they want to ban
proposing.
gasoline engines, they want to ban lawnmowers, they want to ban gas stoves. They're banning all the things that are going to make people more reliant on this faulty grid.
Right.
And then right after they announce that, what year is it that you can only get electric cars?
I think it was
2030?
10 more years.
I think it was like 2032 or something, right?
Right.
Within a week of announcing that, they also announced don't recharge your electric cars. The grid won't take it. I mean, it's ludicrous. It's just absolutely ludicrous.
There's a group of crybabies called Climate Action Against Disinformation. Sorry, they're complaining against Twitter, saying that that Twitter is not censoring climate deniers the way they want them to.
All right, we're going to have to take a break. We have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to pick up a phone call from Randy from West Dundee, and we'll continue on our quest talking about Victor Davis Hanson's letter. All that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I'm in the medical field, and I think when you start out these things, everything from the advertisement sounds so good that you're psyched up for it to work. It's working. Anyway, I'm happy.
Balance of Nature has made a big difference. It's just one of the greatest products, and it's just so simple, and it works.
Balance of Nature is a fantastic product. You could tell it's real. You could taste it. And it gives you really good energy, and it's just right up there with rent, electric cable, like things that you have to have. I'm not cutting Balance of Nature. No, I love it.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature right now. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com for more information or to place your order. Shipping is always free. And don't forget to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class note, notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And we have a call from Randy from West Dundee asking me about the Daily Herald. I have not seen that. I've been at SHOT Show all week.
Hi there, guys. Love your show.
Hey, Randy,
Thank you.
Thanks.
It was kind of interesting, and I know that the conversation is a little off topic, but she brings up 2 points. And her first point in writing this is this writer out of Palatine that from now on, firearms should all be leased, and included in that lease will be an insurance premium to cover the cost of any essentials that go along with the discharged bullet. And the second interesting thing she brings up is that guns should now be equipped with a chip, because we have this capability that prior to the firearm owner turning off the mechanical safety, and I'm quoting, the chip will release the gun's trigger and allow the good guy to fire at the bad guy.
Check, please.
And it's like, I'm retired law enforcement, and part of the whole frustrating problem, and you guys deal with it, is this absolute mystery with non-firearm owners that go around. And when you read stuff like this, you can't help but laugh.
Who is this? Who was it?
A lady and just a plain old citizen from Palatine, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In today's Daily Herald.
Oh,
Funnier than that.
Like a letter to the editor or something?
Yeah, an op-ed thing. I'm sorry. Yes.
Someone who clearly understands the subject intimately, yeah.
Well, you have two problems. So first of all, is that anything mechanical can and will fail, right? So that includes even a firearm because it's all mechanical. But then you have the other issue of, a lot of things in technology fail or can be hacked or things like that, or can be turned off remotely, or things that we don't even know about. So if, you think you're going to save the world with, adding mechanical and technological stops into things that are just supposed to work when you need them to work.
Yeah, what happens when muggers show up with jamming equipment?
There you go.
They can literally, override your gun's electronics. It's the stupidest thing.
Absolutely.
I just don't. I will never understand anti-2A people. I'll never understand how they overlook the fact that we have lots of dangerous things in our homes, but if they're used properly, they're appropriate to do the job that they're made for.
We were talking about natural gas in the house. If you use that inappropriately, you can blow up your house.
You can blow up your whole house. We have sharp knives in the kitchen for cutting meat and vegetables. We have chainsaws for cutting trees. Yeah. These are very dangerous things, but we know how to use them. We use them properly for what the tool that they are, the tool that they're meant to be, and no one's trying to outlaw chainsaws and kitchen knives.
Well, just now that you've said it on the radio, I mean,
well, thank God we're not England yet, who has outlawed assault knives, whatever the hell that is.
Right.
But I mean, you look at their crime and it hasn't gotten any better. Now they've got, they had, it was like almost 10 years ago now, but a guy trying to, like, with a bomb strapped to himself, trying to blow people up. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's about heart condition. It's not about a tool.
Well, that's the problem. Too many people believe that they're trying to reduce crime by taking guns, and they point out the fallacy of it. That has nothing to do with it. Saving children has nothing to do with it. They walk over dead bodies to get in front of a camera.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
This has to do with the fact that they want to run the world, and we're in the way. Mm-hmm. We are an inconvenient byproduct of society.
We're a roadblock.
Right. And so we just need to be gotten rid of. That artificial intelligent female robot had being interviewed about a year or two ago when the guy jokingly said, robots, by the way, have no sense of humor. When the guy jokingly said, well, from your perspective, human beings are probably more effort than they're worth. It'd be better not to have them. And she just goes, right. You're right. It's better not to have them.
You know, the problem with all these arguments, like against 2A and things like that, is that, you know, the facts that these people are being given on news networks like CNN, ABC, MSNBC, and all that, it's very one-sided. So a lot of these people that have never seen or touched or understand firearms are just getting their facts from those agencies. And I've been on the other side of that before. I was raised in a house where, you know, we thought that guns could just get up and kill people, and that if you had one in the house, it was more likely to be used in, you know, domestic whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then when I started thinking for myself, I learned that that is just inherently stupid, like just plain stupid. And it's not the way it works. So I don't fault these people. I fault them for, I guess, listening to the wrong news, but it's really the media's fault for not being able to, you know, have fair, consistent information for the people to decide themselves.
And here's the thing. The reality of the situation is, if they were serious about reducing crime, et cetera, they'd be going after handguns, because the vast majority of violence in this country are committed by handguns. So this is all just sort of shared nonsense. It's I won't say the word because I'll get in trouble.
We had Sheriff Medrick on Black and Right yesterday, and he was saying they have a lot of gun crime that they deal with in his county, in DuPage County, and not a single one of them was a FOID card holder, nor not a single one of them involved a long gun.
There you go.
Do we have any action items?
I have a couple.
Okay. We're going to...
Is that time already?
Pretty close. Unless, once again, I've screwed up the
I was going to say, I'm impressed
right.
He's actually on top of what segment we're in.
You need the week to rejuvenate.
I went to SHOT Show. I'm rejuvenated.
I wish I got to go. I totally missed when that was, and then not until you mentioned you were going to be out did I realize it.
Well,
would have made time to go.
I never get to see it either. I anchor the news. I don't. I sit in the booth
the whole time.
All right. Anyway, but we are going to come back. We're going to have some action items, and maybe we'll have a couple more comments about all this insanity, and then we'll all go home and have a drink. Sound good?
Light our gas stoves.
Light our gas stoves. Exactly. Which I don't understand that, but that's another subject for another time, because we make gas like crazy. We do it in this studio. Anyway, we'll be back with more on Target Radio after these brief messages, and you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Hi, it's Sean Thompson. MyPillow is excited to bring you their biggest bedding sale ever. Get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98. A set of pillowcases for only $9.98. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for you and your busy schedule. Trust me, these sheets are ridiculously comfortable. Also, you can rejuvenate your bed with the MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. They have blankets in a variety of sizes, colors, and style. They even have blankets for your pets. Get duvets, quilts, down comforters, body pillows, bolster pillows, and so much more, all with the biggest discounts ever. MyPillow is also extending their money-back guarantee until March. So go to MyPillow.com, or you can call 1-800-489-0201. Use promo code LIBERTY, and you'll get huge discounts on all MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets, for as low as $29 while quantities last. And don't forget, use promo code LIBERTY for the best possible discounts available.
Dr. Gorka here, and you know me. I am very cynical about products, especially those that claim to help people suffering from pain. So when I tell you that Relief Factor truly works, I want you to know that I mean it. I suffered from a stiff lower back for almost a decade, one so painful it made it difficult to kneel in church on Sundays. When I finally decided to give Relief Factor a try, I didn't ever imagine that I would find myself free of the pain, but that's what happened. Now I take Relief Factor every day. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it worked for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start for the discounted price of only $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. Feel the difference.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Please come show your support for Sheriff Mendrick of DuPage County by showing up to the next DuPage County Board meeting, Tuesday, January 24th at 10 a.m. on the 3rd floor of the DuPage Center Administration Building on County Farm Road in Wheaton. Come a little early to sign up if you plan to make a public comment. In the event the board decides to cancel the meeting, we are still going to meet outside the building with our Mendrick and 2A signs to show him our support. Please join us. He and the tyrannical board need to know we support him, supporting our constitutional rights. Safer USA is now offering classes in Geneva, Waterman, and Bonfield. Tuesday, February 7th, Illinois Concealed Carry Renewal class taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, February 18th and 19th, NRA Rifle Instructor taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
Pithy. Always pithy.
So I didn't know about the story behind that, Sheriff. Is it something where the board doesn't agree with his position on the new law?
Yeah, I think they're doing stupid stuff like demanding his resignation because they don't like the fact that he said he wasn't going to enforce it.
What I particularly liked was the governor saying that do their job or not have the job. He does not have one ounce of authority.
No ability to.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. And I think it was perfect having the sheriffs do it. They're elected by the people. That's what the people want. That's their voice.
Yep.
That's amazing. I love that so many
including some
including
some Democratic controlled.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say it's just this woke DuPage County board that is going after their recently elected, duly elected sheriff, as you say, elected by the people. This was the people's choice. Let him do his job.
Got to get rid of him.
They can demand his resignation all they want. I think the only person that can remove him is the coroner, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and he has to have actually done something wrong for
Right.
a coroner to do that.
Right.
Somebody has to be on a state level, has to be able to arrest the highest government official as a coroner, which at first you go, what? That makes no sense. But really, it sort of does.
Sounds morbid, but
it does. But it sort of does make sense because he's not law enforcement. I don't know exactly what you would call him, but he's got authority.
The coroner's got a badge.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
all
Do they
good.
carry a gun?
I don't believe so.
I mean, they're
Well,
already
they could.
dead.
I guess
They're
they
already
could,
dead.
yeah.
Well, so back before we had concealed carry, a lot of people were becoming deputy coroners so that they
To
could carry
a gun.
guns.
Right.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're also becoming auxiliary deputies. We won't go down that road.
Wait, I don't know anybody who would do that.
No, nobody, certainly outside of this room anyway.
No, I don't know anybody who would do that.
Yeah, well, so nothing on for next week yet, right?
Oh, we'll
I
figure
thought you
something
said next week you had somebody from.
I did say that, didn't
You
I?
had a guest coming in.
Yeah, I did say that.
Who?
But I have no recollection of who it is.
I think it's in my text messages. If
You
I go back.
you spend a week in Vegas.
Boy.
Your life is blanked out.
If
You have
I'm this
no idea.
guest, I'm thinking, oh my God, they don't
Thanks
even know
for
who
nothing.
I am. Not going on their show. Screw that.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure
it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's,
Otherwise, we'll have another lively discussion about the news,
we could do that.
That's
There's been
always-
plenty.
yeah.
which I actually think our listeners enjoy more.
I am surprised that we did not get
so.
a single phone call on the assault weapon thing.
We weren't talking about that.
No, but people,
And we sort of did.
That's never stopped people in the past. They call up. We're talking about putting satellites in orbit. And they call about dog flea collars. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to what our listeners do. They're free thinkers like we are.
Well, David, you
I
don't
was just going to
understand
say you
that.
just insulted all of our listeners.
You don't
I'm
understand
saying
that
they're
George.
That was David Lombardo. Direct your emails to David Lombardo.
They're free thinkers. They know that they can talk to us about anything.
Well, you just don't know that George is doing a good job screening the 500 phone calls we get
Wrong.
every show.
That's true. There's that.
Anyway, that is all the time we have for On Target Radio. Be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup.